Welcome to Southeast News. I am Barry Kumo Ado. The headlines. Tribunal returns Dennis Agbo to House of Reps, sacks Simon Atigwe. Enugu State House of Assembly confirms Commissioner nominee. Anambra State Electoral Commission, ANSEC, releases timetable for local government election. Imo community mourns the death of 4 persons. Stay with us. The House of Representatives Tribunal, sitting in Abakaliki, Ebonyi State, has returned Dennis Agbo of Labour Party as a duly elected candidate in the rerun election for Igweze North Udenu Federal Constituency held on February 3, 2024. Tribunal subsequently sacked the member representing the constituency, Simon Atigwe. Atigwe of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, was declared the winner of the rerun election. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, had said the PDP's candidate polled 23,863 votes to defeat Dennis Agbo of the Labour Party, who garnered 23,226 votes. Agbo, who had earlier won the February 25, 2023 election, but was sacked by the appellate court, proceeded to the tribunal to challenge Atigwe's declaration. Agbo argued that the rerun election was marred by wrong computation of results, substantial non-compliance to the Electoral Act, among others. In a ruling on Wednesday, 14th August, the tribunal headed by Justice H.N. Kunaza settled the petition at merit and declared Dennis Nnamdi Agbo the actual winner of Igweze North Udenu Federal Constituency. Justice Kunaza's panel declared invalid, null and void the 2,000 votes added to the PDP candidate and restored the votes of 25th February 2023 of 14,229 for the PDP and 28,870 for the LP candidate, Dennis Agbo. It also held that Atigwe Simon Chukwemeka was not duly elected by the valid votes cast, as the petitioner won with 23,221 and PDP 21,886 votes, and as such, the certificate of return issued to Atigwe should be withdrawn and issued to Dennis Agbo. The Enugu State House of Assembly has screened and confirmed the appointment of Mr. Chimobi Patrick Okorie as a commissioner in the state. The House suspended Order 19, Rule 155 of the House, standing rule to usher in the nominee, Mr. Chimobi Patrick Okorie, for screening. While responding to questions, Okorie assured members of the House that he worked towards achieving the agenda of Governor Peter Mbah's administration. Satisfied with his response, the House unanimously confirmed him as a commissioner. It will be recalled that the Enugu State of Assembly on 8 August received a letter from Governor Peter Mbah on the nomination of Mr. Okorie as a commissioner in the state. The unemployment crisis has deep historical roots and exists within a wider context of poor governance, insecurity, conflict, and poverty. Securing meaningful choice and lives for Nigerian youth and requires reframing youth unemployment beyond labor markets alone and embedded in ideas of equality and collective action. A good number of youths are of the opinion that government contributes to the challenges faced by youths, particularly in the area of unemployment. Signature TV took to the streets to get people's opinion on the way youths are treated in Nigeria.
I don't really think that question needs an answer, because it's very, very obvious that the youths are suffering. We are suffering. It's not easy. They're saying that we are the leaders of tomorrow, but I can't even see it. How am I going to lead this country now? everybody getting into that position, we tend to gain what they have been losing for the past few years. You understand?
The reason why most people like leave the country is because as youths, the country is not favorable. Like most policies towards the youths don't. Most policies from the government don't like favor the youth. Okay, my dad used to tell me that when he was growing up, things were better, and then now I cannot say same because I'm a student. And okay, my dad told me that when he was a student, as a young person as I am now, they used to like have meal tickets and stuff in the university, but now it's not the same. And also, the government's policies towards the youth is unfavorable. When you're traveling, most times they see you with a laptop. You can assume a different thing and say you're a fraudster or something. So everything that comes from the government is seemingly against the youth. So
we Nigerians, we are used to this fact that if state is not failing, we still have to see struggle, do one or two things. But I feel on a normal, it ought not to be like that per se, because the government is supposed to make things way easier for us. In a sense, because the system is pretty hard, very hard, very hard. I'm telling you, I have some final year friends currently, like friends in final year, and they're like, I was like asking them, how are you too happy that you're about leaving the school? They're like, oh my God, I know that when we leave school now, it's another world entirely, and it's not funny actually out there.
Okay, so I don't think the government is treating the youths well, especially in the aspect of employment, because there's not enough like jobs now for us. Most of the jobs are already like taken by people that are older and stuff like that. So we don't have enough jobs, not enough employment. Yeah, I think we should be celebrated because why not? I mean, we've done a lot for the country. We're still trying to do more for the country. So obviously, we should be celebrated.
It's not really fair to me because although government is trying, but their effort is not enough. They need to improve because we have a lot of youth who are on the street. They're not doing anything. We talk about crimes. If they engage them in something productively, I believe crime will reduce. So I suggest the government will look into engaging our youth, creating an enabling environment for those who are entrepreneurship inclined, those who can do their own things. Some of them have their own products, but they need the support of government like finance and reducing tax, because even if you give a youth loan and the tax is high, they can still not cope.
Nigeria has to recede about youth, because youth is going astray because of attitude of Nigeria.
Youths are actually the leaders of tomorrow, so like they should be celebrated to like encourage them in all they do, so that they will see the better side of life, so that they will actually feel like the society loves them. So with that, they will tend to like put in more effort in what they are doing, and they will be more encouraged in their activities.
Able residents in the Owerri North local government area of Imo State have been thrown into deep mourning as 4 young men lost their lives while attempting to evacuate dunks from a sewage pit at Umumokoji, Umuayado village. The incident that took mysterious dimensions saw the 4 workers taking turns to enter in to the pit without coming out. The cause of their death is yet to be determined. An environmental engineer, Sunday Hekere, while commenting on the incident, described it as a tragic reminder of the importance of prioritizing safety protocols while embarking on such potentially hazardous activities. As we look at this issue, which some of the residents describe as a bad omen, we'll be joined through telephone by, hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Eugene Orisakwe.
Exactly.
Good evening and welcome to Signature TV Southeast News. Now, some residents have described the devastating incident that happened as a bad omen. That how 4 young men can die on the same day. How do you respond to this? For information,
You said some what happened? Sorry.
the incident
Okay.
where 4 young men died while trying to evacuate a sewage pit,
Yeah.
that some residents have described it as a bad omen. So how do you respond to this? You're the Vice President General of Igbo General Assembly.
Exactly.
So can you please give us your perspective on it?
All right. Thank you very much. The bad omen side of it is not something I can talk about because I am not an oracle and I'm not, a divine to know whether it's a bad omen or not. But then, what I can authoritatively tell you that is a very sad incident and very sad one, in the kingdom. And everybody is feeling bad about it. Actually, the story is true. 4 young men on the 10th, that's on Saturday, the 10th of August 2024, died mysteriously. Mysterious in the sense that 4 of them, honestly, went into the sewage pit one after the other and never came out. The first one went in through a ladder. Of course, they had a ladder that they used in climbing in. Then the first person went in. All of a sudden, nobody was hearing from him again. Then the landlord who contracted him, when he noticed, that there was no life and there was no sign of life in the sewage pit again, tried, to go in and find out what exactly has happened to the guy he contracted and never came out. And the wife was standing by, who now raised alarm and called the 3rd guy, Chukwueke, on phone. His name is Chukwueke. And Chukwueke and the husband and of course the landlord of the yard, they are best of friends. So the wife now put a call across to him to tell him that, see what is happening, that my husband went in to look after what that has happened to the guy he contracted to evacuate the sewage. And since then, she's not hearing from him again. So Chukwueke ran from their house to that scene, quickly removed his shirt, climbed in, and of course did not come out himself. Then a young man who also is a tenant that was living in the yard, then having been around and noticed what was going on, just decided to offer help. When the wife, raised alarm and was shouting, attracting attention of people. So the young man now also went in and of course did not come out. Even the 5th person wanted to go in, but the wife held him and was shouting, don't go, don't go. It was at that point, they now called me on phone. I arrived. I quickly left my house. Of course, the distance is not too long. It's just a very short distance. I drove down immediately to the scene, and honestly, my brother, what I met was something that one cannot just easily describe. The 4 young men were all there lifeless. So we now decided that nobody goes in again, because at the 4 that went in did not come out. So why would we allow anybody now to go in? So what we now did was to inform the police, Owerri North Police Division. They quickly responded and came. So together, everybody now joined hands. Now we looked for rope, and then with the help of the rope, we will now search when we now drag up maybe one of the hands or legs of any of the disease, you know, caught by the this thing we constructed, we'll now try and hold the person with the rope and then drag the remains out. So that was the system we used in bringing the 4 of them out of the sewage pit. Then quickly rushed them to the hospital, the medical city hospital at Ebu, by Road Safety Junction. Invited the doctors who now confirmed the 4 of them dead. Okay, since nobody can do anything because the doctors already has confirmed them dead, we now proceeded to Holy Rosary Hospital in Emekoko, where I also insisted that the doctors there should carry out examinations, you know, on them. Of course, when that examination was also carried out, the doctors there also confirmed them dead. So at that point, we were helpless. Nothing anybody could do, you know, to revive them. We now deposited their remains at the morgue at the Emekuku Holy Rosary Hospital.
It's not been easy for the community losing four people in one day.
4 people just not if you're talking in one day, then it will be different. In hours.
So right now, what is the community doing to bring some form of succor to those they left behind?
My brother, the community, as I speak, are aware. Of course, we informed the traditional ruler of the community, His Majesty Eze Michel Uchenne Bukole, the Ochoroma, the 6th of April. We informed the President General and the leadership of the kingdom. But because the matter is still being investigated by the police, so we have not done anything still after the investigations. Whatever will be the outcome of the investigation, then we will now take it up from there. But for now, we are awaiting for the police investigation reports.
Okay, while you await that, is the community trying to do anything from the victims? Because we shouldn't say because there's an investigation, the community members should just be left that way.
Honestly, like I said to you, we are not doing anything yet. Because if you start doing anything while the investigation is being, carried out by the police, then I think, you are maybe interfering in their investigation. So we want to allow them get finished, then we can now take it off from there.
It's still a sad story. We are still, even over here, we are still trying to understand.
Well, from the little, I don't want to be quoted, but then from the little side information, that filtered in.
Yes.
It looks like that they say the applied chemical that is not human friendly.
Okay. Are we saying that's what contributed to it?
Hello?
Are we saying that's what contributed to it?
I wouldn't say that, but I say I don't quote me. But then these are little information, that filtered in.
No problem. I won't quote you, but
Unconfirmed sources.
okay. But we do have Isaiah Aboyi that is going to come on through Zoom, and he's a health expert, an environmental expert too, that will also look at this situation so that as time goes on, we get a better way of doing things so that such an incident will not repeat itself in any community.
Honestly, it's an unfortunate one, and we don't pray that a situation like this, repeats itself, both in my community and elsewhere. It's an unfortunate one.
Prince Eugene Osakwe JP. Orisakwe JP.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, JP.
Orisakwe JP. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Because what you've given us shows that there is still human kindness existing in humanity. Thank you very much for coming on to Signature TV.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll now join Isaiah, who is joining us via Zoom, and he's an environment and health expert. Isaiah boy. Isaiah, I would like to see beyond your head alone.
Good evening.
Yes, I think that's much better. Good afternoon.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. Yes.
All right.
Good afternoon.
Let me be fair to say good afternoon this evening.
Our listeners.
Now,
good afternoon.
You've heard part of the story of 4 people going into a soakaway pit and none of them coming out alive. It's a very sad tale. But let's look at the protocols that were missed in terms of safety of conducting their business. Where did they get it wrong?
Yeah, thank you. This unfortunate incident is really very tragic and very pitiable. In terms of evacuation of sewage, what they did is so crude and so bad, so dangerous. It is only in the early time that such incidents, such practice of physical evacuation of sewage is tolerated. 20th century, that practice has been discountenanced with. What?
I'm listening to you. Hello, Isaiah. I'm listening to you. I just hope we can get that connection sorted out, because I still am wondering how you'll find someone in a pit and rather than call others, you want to rescue him all alone. Hello, Isaiah.
Yes, the network seems to be challenging.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. So please go ahead.
All right. What I'm saying is that that practice is of the early age. It's no longer obtainable in the 20th century. For someone to physically jump into the pit, the septic tank, for the purposes of evacuating the sewage is unheard of in this present time. There are a lot of septic tank and sewage disposal system that you use truck to suck and transport the sewage to appropriate sites. I wonder why, even if they succeeded in bringing the sewage from the pit, where would they pour it to? That is very dangerous to their health and the health of the community. Because if they had employed the services of sewage disposal tank, that sewage disposal tank will suck the sewage and transport it to a designated disposal site where it will be safely disposed and where the environment will not be harmed.
Yes,
the implication of even they are doing it, assuming they even succeeded, it's unfortunate they ended up dying. But assuming they even succeeded, part of what will happen is that they will pollute the environment. They won't move it to the appropriate places where it should be delivered. And what it ends up is that maybe they pour it to a gutter, a nearby gutter, and it will flow into our water bodies, polluting the water, polluting our food, and every other thing, and possibly bringing back diseases to man and the environment. So it's quite unfortunate that they had to employ that system which is highly unsafe because an average septic tank is about 9 feet. At times, it could be up to 12 feet, depending on the facility it is serving. If it is a commercial building or a complex where a lot of flats are, then there is the tendency of making the septic tank highly voluminous so as not to be having frequent disposal. So it can actually be dangerous for you to attempt to physically and manually evacuate septic tank. It is highly unsafe, very dangerous to man, very dangerous to the environment. It's unfortunate that that incident happened.
Now, there's this issue that was also raised, a suggestion that probably they used a certain type of chemical and that may have been what compounded their problems. Hello, Isaiah.
Sorry, you said I didn't get your question.
There's this suggestion that probably they had used some form of chemicals in the sewage tank and that compounded their problems. Probably it affected their breathing and things like that.
Okay, you see, I may not have got the whole story of how that incident happened. If there was at all a septic tank, the sewage disposal people that came and may have added any form of chemical, I wouldn't know what they added, but yes, there could be some chemicals that could hamper breathing and be suffocating. So it will tantamount to double tragedy if they have that kind of chemical poured into the sewage before they ventured inside it. And the further that I think all this culminates to ignorance and quackery, because there should be and there are professionals who should handle waste disposal and the evacuation of sewage. You must engage the services of environmental health practitioners. That is their training and that is what they do. So by the time you cut corners and try to do it yourself, these are part of the consequences. It's so very unfortunate that it's had to end in death because nobody, no matter what, nobody will want anybody to lose his or her life in this kind of circumstance. But that may serve for us as a warning and a lesson so that people should engage those who are trained to render services. Because anybody who is trained to render such service will not embark on it the way they did. So I don't know if, do I continue?
Yes, I'm still with you.
Okay.
So
that's what we are saying.
At this point, Isaiah,
we needed the services of environmental health officers to do that job. Yes.
Thank you, Isaiah.
Because they are the people who are aware of the do's and don'ts. If you're not aware of the do's and don'ts, you may take things for granted and you compromise on.
And unfortunately, I have to let you go, Isaiah. Thank you very much for your contribution. But I'm sure that the viewer has got some takeaways, that we must follow the right protocol. We must have the experts to take care of what they are supposed to take care of and not dabbling into things we do not know. We still do sympathize with the community that has lost young people in their prime. Southeast News continues in a moment. Just yesterday, Ndu Okbaleze, that's a bureau chief actually in Oka, joined us to explain some things about the date announced for the local government election by ANSEC in Anambra State. And today, ANSEC promised that they will release the timetable that will give the politicians an idea of the schedule of activities that will lead from today, being the 14th day of August, a Wednesday, to 28th September 2024. Ndu Okbaleze, good afternoon and welcome to Southeast Need. How are you today?
Thank you.
So, any updates from NSEC?
Yes. Like they said, today being the 14th of August, they have released the timetable. And I've gone through it. I want to report and observe that it's a very congested one. Starting from tomorrow, for instance, after today, the release of the election timetable and schedule of activities, tomorrow is an interactive session with the chairman of political parties and stakeholders, tomorrow being 15th of August. After that, less than 1 week, 22nd of August, there will be political parties to notify the Commission of the dates and venues for their wards and local government nomination exercises. That is their primaries. Then on the 24th of August, submission of names of political party agents. 27th of August, submission of political parties register of members of the state at the Commission's headquarters, Oka. Then between 24th and 27th, political parties nomination exercise. 28th of August, collection of ANSEC nomination forms. Just a very long and congested timetable till campaign, for instance, will start on end of campaign will be on midnight of 26th of September, and commencement of campaign is on 11th of September. So between 11th and 26th.
I'm with you.
For campaigning, both chairmanship and councillorship candidates. When I got to ANSEC office, head office in Oka here around noon, people were coming in ones and in twos collecting the schedule. As a matter of fact, by the register I saw there, less than 10 groups have been represented. But I am so sure that more will still come in.
Can we have an inkling into the names of some of these groups? Were they political parties?
Actually, they were writing not party names, but they are politicians. They were writing their personal names.
Okay.
Personal names. Yes.
So, given the present situation, yesterday you did say there were several meetings going on in Oka and other parts of Anambra State. As the situation changed, are they taking a front now? Better put, are they taking a stand now on how to partake in every step of the activities that ANSEC has announced?
Okay, nothing has changed really. They are still meeting, and that yesterday I was so optimistic that it was all about the elections. But I now understand more that there were groups, in discussions. They haven't taken a stand, but I think their consultations and meetings are part of the process of coming out with a stand with regards to whether to participate or not to participate in the election. But most of them who have spoken off camera are not very happy with the congested timetable. They are not just very happy. They felt it's going to favor the ruling party, All Progressive Grand Alliance in Anambra State. But they have not taken a formal stand.
Okay. All right, let's move away briefly from electoral matters. Do you have any updates on the kidnap of 3 persons along Nkpologu-Akpo Road?
Yes, that kidnap issue is coming as a very peculiar incident, because I just spoke with the police public relations officer in the state, SP Kenga Chuchukwu, less than an hour ago, and he just confirmed to me that there has not been any official contact with the people, I mean the kidnappers. There has not been any. And this is a very surprising thing, because those who normally do that for money, they don't waste time in contacting the family or relations. But it's now, the situation is that they have not contacted them. And if you look at the way it happened, 3 prominent members of a community kidnapped at separate places in the same community. Tongues are beginning to wag that something like an insider job must have happened, but it's not an official statement.
Another matter that appears to be an unsolved crime. But I was thinking that security has been beefed up in most parts of Anambra State.
Yes, if you come into Oka now, the busiest part of Oka is Aroma Junction. That's the place where you have Enugu Onitsha Road, Express Road, being intersected by other junctions. They have established there was a very heavy presence of police, and it's kind of slowing down traffic. But people are happy about it. They are beginning to check more, and at strategic places leading to Alex Ekwem Square, you see new checking spots where they stop and search people. It's happening in Oka, and but you cannot say exactly the same thing about the hinterlands. If you remember, Nkpologu happened to be in the Agwata Axis. That has always been one of the areas where this incident of kidnapping and story of unknown gunmen always occur and reoccur. So we expect that they will also beef up those areas. But for now, Oka is a little bit tighter security-wise.
Okay, just before you go, I want you to think about if they are also going to strengthen the security in the hinterlands, because very soon many communities will be talking about New Yam Festival. So how are people going to cope with that situation, knowing that the security is a bit suspect, so to speak?
Yes, it's not a question of very soon. It has started already. Most communities are beginning to do their New Year festival. And remember, this is August, when women come in for August meeting. So most hinterlands are beehive of activities these days. Like when I was speaking with the police public relations officer, he assured that their dragnets are all over the place. But then it remains to be seen on the ground. So we are going to get back to them with a view to making sure that they spread their dragnets, especially to those areas that happen to be the most hit areas.
Thank you very much, Ndu Okpaleze. As usual,
You're welcome, sir.
You came out great. Thank you very much. Enjoy your evening.
So thank you.
Yes, Ndu Okpaleze did remind us that August is the month of women, when August meeting is an opportunity for women to have their Congress, especially in the Southeast, Igbo women. It is that platform that provides a massive upcoming for Igbo women as they move to their matrimonial villages to discuss issues on women as agents of change and the well-being of their communities. We'll get back to you shortly on that story, and we're having a guest. Stay with us. August is the month for women, and in Igbo land, August is the homecoming month. Now, this year, 2024, you would have heard that in different parts of the Southeast, the traditional August meeting has become the center stage, where you find that the government is now involved, trying to ensure that women become the change drivers they are supposed to be. On Zoom, and joining me is Joy Egolum. Hello, Joy. Hello, Joy.
I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. And I like that beautiful smile. So how are you this afternoon?
I'm very well, thank you. And yourself?
I am great, especially now that you are joining us on Southeast News on Signature TV. Tell me, Joy, what does August mean to you?
Wow, that's a loaded one. Well, first of all, good evening, good afternoon, good morning to all the viewers. Thank you for having me. August means a lot to me personally as a woman, as an Igbo woman, and of course as a business. So for us, Igbo women of Igbo extraction, either by birth or by marriage, August is a time where we converge from wherever we are in the world. And it has evolved from being just an avenue for cross-fertilization of ideas and interaction to actually being a force for good. Because I think over time, women have come to realize that they are also very important forces for change. As a business, I work as the Corporate Affairs Manager East for Nigerian Breweries PLC. And we had partnered with the Office of the First Lady of Enugu State just recently to celebrate women as they flagged off the August meeting. And so for a business, as far as Nigerian Breweries PLC is concerned, we pride ourselves on being an equal opportunity employer, which means, of course, I'm a testament to that, being female and being in my role, but also the fact that we can collaborate with government, who has shown that they also recognize the importance of a gathering of women. So August is a time for us to come together, exchange ideas, find avenues to develop ourselves, and ultimately contribute our own quota to national growth, basically.
That's great. Now, you mentioned change agents, you mentioned community development, you mentioned well-being, so many attributes. So when women gather and begin to look at all these attributes, what should the bottom line be?
The bottom line, first of all, is for women to understand the power of being women. Of course, we understand the importance of our menfolk, but we also realize the very strategic role that women have in the fact that we are privileged to be the ones who are those that propagate the human race. We are privileged to have a closer bond with our children. And so we are ultimately the first teachers of the children, which is why I popularly said, you train a woman, you train a nation. We always say, if you know better, you will do better. So we need our women to be enlightened. We need our women to continue to be productive and innovative so that they can contribute to the nation as a whole and not just the state. So when women come together, apart from the fact that we are wonderfully made, and so of course we are fantastic to look at, but there's also a time for us to harness that power that we have as a force for good so that we propagate the right values. We ensure that our traditions are not lost, because as Nigerians, we know that we have the traditions that have held us over time. And so it is part of our duty as mothers, as pillars of society, to ensure that that role that we have, we hold it dearly, and we understand the responsibility that comes with it. And of course, while we're doing that, we encourage everyone to have a little Amstel Malta and refresh yourself as you go along, because we're here for you.
Joy Egolum just showed that she is not just a corporate affairs manager for the Southeast Zone for her company, but she's also marketing. We'll come to that, Joy, but thanks for joining us on Southeast News Signature TV.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for your contribution too. It's time to say thanks for watching and be there again when we show up tomorrow. Barrick Mado is my name.